Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, all-time head-to-head record in WWE. In WWE's landscape of ever-shifting alliances and bitter betrayals, few rivalries have burned as intensely as the one between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, once bonded by mutual respect during their early days in WWE's developmental brand. Their relationship has since unraveled into one of the most volatile feuds in recent memory. Their journey began in NXT, where both women were pegged as the future of WWE's women's division. Sharing a similar powerhouse style and driven by a relentless work ethic, Ripley and Rodriguez initially found common ground. But as both stars began to rise, admiration slowly gave way to envy, and competition turned into conflict. It wasn't long before the ring became a battleground for proving superiority rather than fostering friendship. Fast forward to 2024, the rivalry reached a new boiling point at WWE Bad Blood, where Raquel Rodriguez made a shocking return. The WWE Universe was stunned as Raquel blindsided Rhea Ripley during her highly anticipated Women's World Championship match. The surprise attack wasn't just about vengeance. It came with an unexpected twist. Rodriguez aligned herself with none other than Liv Morgan, Ripley's most bitter enemy. Their interference cost Ripley the match and, more devastatingly, her shot at reclaiming the title. From that moment on, things escalated rapidly. No longer just a competitive feud, the Ripley-Rodriguez saga turned personal. The two powerhouses began going at each other with unchecked aggression, reigniting their feud with brutal confrontations on Raw and beyond. Their rivalry was far from one-sided. Both women proved they were willing to go to extreme lengths to derail each other's careers. The animosity exploded once again during the Queen of the Ring 2025 tournament, where Raquel Rodriguez played spoiler by interfering in Ripley's opening round match, attempting to help Liv Morgan advance. Her involvement led to Ripley's elimination from the tournament, an insult the former women's world champion refused to take lightly. Rhea didn't wait long to strike back. Just days later, Ripley returned the favor by costing Rodriguez her own opening round fatal four-way match in the tournament. The back-and-forth assaults only served to deepen the bad blood between them. WWE officials struggled to contain the chaos as both women refused to back down, turning every backstage encounter and in-ring moment into a flashpoint for their escalating war. The final straw came on the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw ahead of Night of Champions 2025, where backstage brawl between Ripley and Rodriguez brought the locker room to a standstill. Furious and out of control, the two women had to be pulled apart by security as WWE officials looked on helplessly. Seeing the destruction firsthand, General Manager Adam Pearce knew this feud couldn't be settled with a simple match. In response to Ripley's demand for retribution, Pearce granted her request, but raised the stakes. He officially booked Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight at Night of Champions. With no rules, no disqualification, and weapons encouraged, this street fight promises to be one of the most brutal women's matches in recent WWE history. Ripley, known for her ruthless aggression and unforgiving intensity, thrives in chaos. But Rodriguez, with her sheer strength and imposing frame, isn't one to be underestimated, especially when revenge is on her mind. This isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about pride, vengeance, and unfinished business. As Night of Champions approaches, fans are bracing for an explosive clash between two of WWE's most dominant forces. Rhea Ripley wants redemption, not just for the loss of her title opportunity, but for the humiliation of being targeted by someone she once considered an equal. Rodriguez, meanwhile, seems determined to destroy everything Ripley built and carve out her own legacy on her own terms. The WWE Universe is guaranteed a war at Night of Champions 2025. And whether it's Ripley walking out with her arm raised or Rodriguez standing tall amidst the wreckage, one thing is certain. Neither woman will ever be the same after this match. Their rivalry started with mutual respect, but will end in chaos, and only one of them will survive the storm. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, a rivalry fueled by respect and revenge. The feud between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez has become one of the most hard-hitting rivalries in WWE's women's division. Once allies in NXT, their relationship has deteriorated into an all-out war marked by physicality, pride, and championship gold. Their most recent battle, a brutal Riyadh Boulevard street fight at Night of Champions 2025, only intensified the animosity between the two fierce competitors. Their story began on the October 28, 2021 episode of WWE NXT, where Ripley and Rodriguez faced off a first time in a singles match. The bout was as intense as fans had expected, with Ripley emerging victorious. It was a hard-fought win that set the stage for their budding rivalry. But Rodriguez was far from done. She quickly rebounded in their second encounter, a brutal last woman standing match at NXT New Year's Evil 2021, where Raquel managed to defeat Ripley in a stunning show of resilience and strength. That match showcased Rodriguez's potential to be a top-tier force in WWE, as she used everything in her arsenal to put Ripley down for the count. However, after that milestone win, Raquel has struggled to replicate that success. Since their second meeting, Ripley has taken full control of their rivalry, winning every subsequent match and establishing her dominance. She has pinned Raquel 4 times since, 2 of those victories coming in high-stakes matches for the Women's Championship. Ripley's power, cunning, and growing aggression have proven difficult for Raquel to counter, and their matches have only grown more violent with time. The most recent chapter came at Night of Champions 2025, where the two clashed in a Riyadh Boulevard street fight. In a match filled with chairs, kendo sticks, and chaos, Ripley once again asserted her dominance by pinning Rodriguez in the heart of Riyadh. The win added another layer to her legacy and underscored the difficulty anyone faces when stepping into the ring with Mommy. Despite the lopsided win-loss record, the rivalry between Ripley and Rodriguez remains one of WWE's most compelling. Each bout tells a new story, revealing the depths both women are willing to go to prove themselves. Raquel continues to show tremendous heart, refusing to back down from the powerhouse champion, while Ripley's intensity and brutal tactics have elevated her into one of WWE's most feared competitors. This rivalry isn't just about wins and losses. It's about pride past bonds and the drive to be the best. Whether they're locking up in a steel cage, going to war in a last woman standing match, or brawling to the streets of Riyadh, Ripley and Rodriguez never fail to deliver a memorable performance. As the feud continues to evolve, fans are left wondering, can Raquel finally overcome the one opponent she hasn't been able to figure out since 2021? Or will Rhea Ripley continue her reign of terror and solidify her legacy as the most dominant woman in WWE? What have been your favorite moments from this intense and emotional saga between two titans of the ring? What have been your favorite moments from this intense and emotional saga between two titans of the ring?
If you love your father, then subscribe the channel, and those who love me show your love by liking and subscribing.